The champagne felt heavy in my hand. Not just the weight of the bottle, but the weight of expectation. $70 for Dom Perignon, the real deal. I'd picked it up on my way to my son Nate's house, planning to celebrate the opening of his dream restaurant, Harvest and Rye. I'd been checking my phone for weeks, waiting for the invitation that never came. But I'm his father, I thought. Family doesn't need formal invitations. I raised my hand to knock on the familiar oak door of the craftsman-style home I'd helped him and his wife Enz purchase 5 years ago. Before my knuckles could make contact, the door swung open. There stood Enz, head to toe in designer athletic wear that probably cost more than my first car. Her iPhone was clutched in her hand like a weapon, and her eyes immediately landed on the champagne bottle in my right hand and the vintage poster tube under my left arm. Something shifted in her expression. Not warmth, not even recognition. It was the kind of look you give a stranger who's lost. "Silas," she said. Not a greeting but a statement. Flat, cold. Behind her, I could see into the open-plan living room where shopping bags clustered by the stairs. At least 6 or 7 of them with logos I recognized even from 15 feet away. Nordstrom sacks. The kind that came with tissue paper and ribbon. Not the crumpled plastic bags I remembered from Nate's childhood. "Where's Nate?" Kept my voice light, celebratory. I wanted to catch him before the restaurant opening. I've been checking my phone for the invitation, but I figured I'd stop by. Her face had gone carefully blank. The kind of blank that means something. As a documentary filmmaker for 40 years, I knew that look. I'd filmed it 100 times. It meant, "You don't know, do you? When's the grand opening?" I asked, still trying to maintain my cheerful demeanor. "I've been waiting for the date. I want to help set up, meet the staff, maybe bring my old film equipment to document the big day." "It was last Tuesday," she said, the words hanging in the air between us like poison gas. I watched her face, searching for any sign of apology, embarrassment, even discomfort. Nothing. "Last I'm sorry, what?" I finally managed to say. "The opening?" she repeated, leaning against the doorframe in a pose of deliberate relaxation, as if we were discussing the weather. "Last Tuesday." We kept it small. Only the closest people. 6 bags. 7. Maybe more. The tissue paper kind that comes with a smile and a credit card warning. I'd paid for a restaurant. Apparently, I'd also paid for a Nordstrom shopping spree. Diversified investment, I suppose. "Closest people?" I repeated, the champagne bottle growing warm in my hand. "I gave you $500,000. And we're grateful," she said, her voice dripping with condescension. "But it's our business, Silas. Your money doesn't make you a partner. Our business." I could feel my control slipping. "I funded half the startup capital." "You gave Nate money?" she corrected me, pulling her phone from her pocket as if to signal the conversation was over. "That doesn't mean you get to show up whenever you want." I set the poster tube against the porch railing. My hands needed something to do besides shake. "I'm his father," I said, my voice tighter now. "And this is his restaurant. His dream, not yours," she shot back. "I paid for the dream." "You wrote a check," she said, checking the screen of her phone before putting it away. "That's different." My phone came out of habit. Muscle memory. I pulled up Nate's contact, hit call. Enz watched me, one eyebrow raised in amusement. Nate answered on the 4th ring. Kitchen noise clattered in the background, pans, voices, the sounds of a busy restaurant. "Dad, I'm kind of in the middle," he said, his voice strained. "Your wife just told me the restaurant opened last week." Silence. Then, "Yeah, we meant to call." Meant to call? I could feel the heat rising in my face. "I invested $500,000. Dad, listen," he said, his voice dropping to a whisper. "We can talk about this later. I'm slammed right now. Nate, I'm standing on your doorstep with champagne." The line went dead. The dial tone hummed in my ear, a professional disconnect. The kind you give telemarketers. My son had just telemarketed me. "You need to leave." Enz's voice had gone cold. Sharp. "I'm Nate's father. And this is Nate's house," she said, stepping forward. Our house. You're not welcome here right now. Not welcome. I paid for their dream. I'd given them $500,000. You wrote a check, Silas, she said, her eyes narrowing. That's all. Don't confuse that with having rights. My GoPro. I carried it everywhere. Habit from 4 decades of documentary work. You never stop recording. You never know what you'll catch. Came out of my jacket pocket. Small, black, innocent looking. I hit record. What are you doing? Enz straightened up, her relaxed posture gone. Documenting. I kept my voice level. That's what I do. You can't film me. Public doorstep, I said, though I wasn't sure about the legality. Technically, I can. She didn't move to stop me, but her face flushed with anger. This is harassment. This is a conversation, I replied calmly. You're the one who opened the door. She stepped back. The door started to close. I kept the GoPro running steady in my hand. In the tiny preview screen, I could see past Enz's shoulder. Her iPhone sat on the entrance table, screen up. As I watched, it lit up. A push notification. White text on green background. Even on the small GoPro screen, I could read it clearly. Golden Palace Casino Online. Your $5,000 withdrawal is pending. The door shut. I stood there on the porch, champagne in one hand, camera in the other, staring at the closed door. $5,000 pending withdrawal from an online casino. I looked down at the GoPro, still recording. I smiled for the first time since I'd arrived. The investigation. I sat in my car for 20 minutes, still parked on Nate Street. The GoPro footage played on loop, 3 seconds of Enz's phone screen lighting up. Casino notification. $5,000. Withdrawal pending. The champagne bottle sat in the passenger seat, sweating condensation onto the leather. $70 down the drain. I drove home. No radio, just Portland traffic and my own breathing. 15 minutes that felt like hours. My house on Hawthorne Boulevard looked the same as when I'd left it 2 hours ago. Same weathered porch, same overgrown rhododendrons, same mail slot. Everything normal, everything different. I went straight to my office, the converted second bedroom I'd claimed when Nate moved out 30 years ago. Shelves of documentary DVDs, Emmy nomination certificates, old film equipment gathering dust. This was my sanctuary, my space of truth. I connected the GoPro to my laptop, pulled up the footage. Full screen, high resolution. Frame by frame, I went through it. Professional analysis, the kind I'd done for 40 years. Looking for the truth hidden in plain sight. Shopping bags, at least 8, not 6. Nordstrom, Saks, Neiman Marcus, one from Tiffany's. The entrance table with mail stacked up, bills, probably unopened. Enz's face, that blank expression when I'd mentioned the opening. She'd known. She'd known I didn't know. And the notification crystal clear in 4K, Golden Palace Casino Online. Your $5,000 withdrawal is pending. 3 days passed. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I researched. Google first. Harvest and Rye Portland. Food blog reviews. Instagram posts from the opening night. Photos of the dining room, the bar, happy faces. I zoomed in on each image. Nate in his chef's whites, Enz playing hostess, people I didn't recognize. People who were apparently close enough. Enz's profile was public. Of course it was. Of course it was. Influencers need audiences. Her bio read, Dream Restaurant Manager. Manifesting abundance. Manifesting. I'd manifested her abundance with a personal check for $500,000. Maybe I should update her bio. Successfully conned father-in-law. Master manipulator. Online casino enthusiast. Photo after photo. Michelin star restaurants, designer boutiques, spa days, wineries. Each post captioned with inspirational quotes about living your best life and manifesting abundance. It was 2 a.m. Wednesday when I did it. Deep in her Instagram archive, 8 months back. A photo of her and Nate at some charity gala. Black tie, big smiles. Caption. Grateful for the people who believe in our dreams. My thumb slipped. Double tap. Heart icon read. Nu, 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 nu. I unliked it fast. 3 seconds, maybe. Did notifications work that fast? Did Instagram send an alert even if you unliked immediately? 2 a.m., 76 years old. Stalking my daughter-in-law's Instagram. This was my life now. Thursday afternoon, my phone rang, and I stared at her name on the screen for 3 rings before answering. Silas. Her voice was honey, sugar sweet. I'm so glad you picked up. I said nothing. Let the silence sit. I wanted her to fill it. I want to apologize for Monday, she said, the calculation evident in her perfectly modulated tones. I was stressed and I snapped at you. That wasn't fair. No, I said. It wasn't. The thing is, a pause. I could hear the gears turning. We're in a bit of a crisis. The walk-in cooler died last night, completely fried. The repair estimate is $18,000. $18,000. And we've got supplier invoices coming due, $23,000. And the landlord is threatening to terminate the lease if we don't. How much do you need? I kept my voice flat. If you could help us with $50,000, it would. $50,000? I laughed, couldn't help it. 50,000. This is funny to you? Her sweetness was curdling fast. I'm just appreciating the irony, I said. Monday, I'm not close enough to be invited to the opening. Thursday, I'm close enough to be an ATM. Silas, she said, her voice dropping to a warning tone. Tell me, Enz. I leaned into the phone. What's the exact distance that qualifies as closest people? Is there a measurement? Because I'm trying to figure out where $500,000 falls on that scale. Silence. Then, coldly, you invested in this business. Did I? I asked. Because investments usually come with paperwork, contracts, partnership agreements. Funny thing, I don't seem to have any of those. If this restaurant fails, you lose everything, she said, her voice like ice. Every penny of that $500,000. Gone. That's a threat. That's a fact, she shot back. You want to be petty about not getting invited to a party? Fine. Watch your investment burn. Watch Nate lose everything he's worked for. His dream. Because you're having hurt feelings. Hurt feelings. I repeated the word slowly. Is that what you think this is? What else would you call it? Pattern recognition. She hung up on me again. Apparently that was a family trait. I sat there holding my phone. The screen showed call ended. 14 minutes, 37 seconds. 14 minutes and 37 seconds of my life I'd never get back. Should have saved that time for something productive. Like repeatedly banging my head against a wall. Same net result, more honest pain. I called Naomi. Video call. She answered immediately. Her home office in Vancouver visible behind her. Tato. Her voice came through crystal clear. Tell me what happened. I did. All of it. The uninvitation, the confrontation, Enz's call for more money. Naomi's face got tighter with each sentence. When I finished, she shook her head slowly. I told you last year, she said quietly. Remember Thanksgiving? You said she'd changed. I said she was using you. I said Nate was letting her. You said I was being paranoid. I looked at my hands. 76 years old. And my daughter had seen what I'd missed. You were right, Tato. Listen to me. She leaned closer to the camera. They're not going to stop. They'll take everything you'll give them. And then they'll blame you when it's not enough. Nate's my son. I know, she said, her voice softening. And I'm your daughter. The one who calls you every week. The one who sent you money when your roof needed repairs. The one who... She stopped, breathed. Sorry, this isn't about me. But it was. It was about all of it. After we hung up, I sat at my desk, her words echoing. They'll take everything you'll give them. I opened a new browser tab, typed Oregon Secretary of State Business Registry, searched Harvest and Rye LLC. The page loaded. Oregon Business Registry. Harvest and Rye LLC. Active. I clicked through. Business type. Limited Liability Company. Registered date. August 15th, 2024. Registered agent. Nathaniel J. Gardner. Business address, 2847 Southeast Division Street, Portland 97214. Members listed: Nathaniel James Gardner, Managing Member. Enz Marie Gardner, Managing Member. I scrolled down, kept scrolling. Additional members? None. Additional investors? None. Partnership agreements on file? None. My name wasn't there. I'd given them $500,000 in September. The LLC had been registered a month before that. Before Nate had come to me. Before the "we need your help" dad conversation, before the business plan, before the promises about partnership and shared profits. They'd registered the business without me, then asked for my money. I sat back. The chair creaked. Not a mistake. Not an oversight. Plan. I opened my desk drawer. At the back, under old lens caps and memory cards, I found what I was looking for. The canceled check. $500,000. Pay to the order of Nathaniel Gardner. Not Harvest and Rye LLC. Not Gardner and Gardner Partnership. Nathaniel Gardner. Personal check. Personal account. My hands started shaking again, but not from anxiety this time. From cold, hard clarity. I pulled out my phone and texted Naomi. "You were right about everything. I need your help with something." My hands started shaking again, but not from anxiety this time. From cold, hard clarity. I pulled out my phone and texted Naomi. "You were right about everything. I need your help with something." Her response came 30 seconds later. "Anything. What do you need?" I looked at the check. The LLC registration. Enza's Instagram feed still open on my laptop. Her latest post from that morning. A photo of the Harvest and Rye dining room. Golden hour light. Perfectly plated food. Caption: Small businesses are built on trust, family, and hard work. Living the dream. Family business. Gratitude. I smiled. Not a happy smile. Her response came 30 seconds later. "Anything. What do you need?" I looked at the check. The LLC registration. Enza's Instagram feed still open on my laptop. Her latest post from that morning. A photo of the Harvest and Rye dining room. Golden hour light. Perfectly plated food. Caption: Small businesses are built on trust, family, and hard work. Living the dream. Family business. Gratitude. I smiled. Not a happy smile. The smile I used to get when I found the perfect ending for a documentary. When all the pieces finally clicked into place. When the story revealed itself. I typed back to Naomi. "I need you to help me make a film." The beginning. The text to Naomi still glowed on my phone. "I need you to help me make a film." But before I could plan anything, I needed to understand one thing. How did I get here? I closed the laptop, closed my eyes. The memory came back sharp and clear. 8 months ago, late August. Sunday afternoon. The doorbell rang at 2 p.m. Nate stood on my porch. Nervous energy radiating off him like heat. He carried a black leather portfolio under one arm. "Tato." He hadn't called me that in years. "Can I come in?" The smile I used to get when I found the perfect ending for a documentary. When all the pieces finally clicked into place. When the story revealed itself. I typed back to Naomi. "I need you to help me make a film." The text to Naomi still glowed on my phone. "I need you to help me make a film." But before I could plan anything, I needed to understand one thing. How did I get here? I closed the laptop, closed my eyes. The memory came back sharp and clear. 8 months ago, late August. Sunday afternoon. The doorbell rang at 2 p.m. Nate stood on my porch. Nervous energy radiating off him like heat. He carried a black leather portfolio under one arm. "Tato." He hadn't called me that in years. "Can I come in?" I made coffee. We sat at the kitchen table. He spread the business plan in front of me. 30 pages, bound, professional looking. "I've been working on this for 2 years, he said, his hands shaking slightly. Every detail. Menu costs, labor projections, market analysis. The bank approved $300,000, but I need $500,000 more. I'd already read the executive summary. Equipment, build-out, licenses, operating capital for 6 months. He looked up, met my eyes. Tato, I know it's a lot, but this isn't just a loan. This is partnership. You'd be an investor. Profit sharing, official paperwork, everything legal and clean. I saw something in his face I hadn't seen in years. Hope, excitement. My son, finally passionate about something. $500,000. I'd agonized more over buying my Toyota Camry. Test drove 3 different models. Negotiated for 2 days. But a $500,000 investment in my son's restaurant? Same-day approval. No test drive required. Enz had been quiet, letting Nate talk. Now she leaned forward, different from the woman who'd shut the door in my face 8 months later. This Enz was warm, engaged. Silas, she said, her voice filled with what I thought was genuine enthusiasm. You'd be part of our dream, not just financially. We want your advice, your experience. You built a production company from nothing. I understand film, I corrected. Restaurants are different, but success principles are the same, right? She smiled. Genuine or convincingly fake? I still don't know. We need someone we trust, she said, her eyes meeting mine. That got me. Someone who cares. Who else cared more than a father? The paperwork, I said. Partnership agreement. I'll need to see. Next week, Nate interrupted. I'm meeting with the business attorney Thursday. You'll be listed as founding partner. 20% ownership. I wrote the check at my desk. My hand didn't shake. I felt good. Purposeful. I can't believe you're doing this, Nate said from behind me. His voice was thick. Tato, I thank you. I turned, handed him the check. Partners now. He took it, stared at it. Partners. He hugged me. Quick, tight. He hadn't hugged me in 5 years. Paperwork by next week? I asked when he pulled back. Next week. Guaranteed. That was August 23rd. The paperwork never came. Looking back now, I could see it clearly. They never intended to make me a partner. But in that moment, in my kitchen, with my son's arms around me, I believed every word. I opened my eyes, back in the present. Thursday night, April. The memory tasted bitter. The plan. Friday morning, I met Gideon at Blend Coffee House on Hawthorne. He arrived 15 minutes late. Apologetic. Daughter's soccer game. Without a written contract, Gideon set down his espresso. Silas, you're screwed. Tell me something helpful. Good, he said, nodding. That is helpful. It's honest. He picked up the canceled check copy I'd brought. You wrote this to Nathaniel Gardner personally, not to the LLC. Verbal agreements can be enforceable, I said. Under Oregon partnership law, yes, he conceded. But you need to prove you agreed to be partners, contributed capital with expectation of partnership, participate in business decisions. Can you prove any of that? I thought about it. Text messages promising updates. A few phone calls. Nothing substantial. Not really. Then legally, Gideon said, leaning back. This is a gift. Generous. Stupid, but legal. What about the LLC registration? I asked. It stated before he asked me for money. Gideon's eyebrows rose. Is it? August 15th, I said. He came to me August 23rd. That's interesting, he admitted. Suggests premeditation, but still doesn't give you ownership. $500,000. No contract. No paperwork. I'd spent 40 years making documentaries about financial fraud, and I'd become the world's easiest mark. If I pitched this story to a producer, they'd reject it as unrealistic. So I sue, I asked. Drag your son into court. Gideon watched me. Long, expensive, ugly. Family relationships destroyed forever. That's one option. But you're not going to do that. No. Then what? I looked out the cafe window. Hawthorne Boulevard. Sunday afternoon. People walking dogs, living normal lives. You know what I did for 40 years? I said. I documented truth. I showed people who they really were. You're going to make a documentary. I'm going to make them famous. Gideon sat back. A slow smile spread across his face. That's either brilliant or insane. Why not both? We talked another hour. He offered to write a demand letter. $500 friendship discount. I declined. He understood. If you're going to do this your way, he said, at least let me review what you create before you show it publicly. Make sure you're not committing libel. Deal. I drove home, went straight to my spare bedroom. The closet held boxes stacked floor to ceiling. Camera cases, tripods, lighting equipment, microphones. The last time I'd used this camera, I was filming the documentary about pension fraud in Milwaukee. The irony wasn't lost on me. I'd interviewed elderly victims who'd trusted family members with their retirement money. Never imagined I'd join their ranks. I set up the Sony FS7 on my desk, connected it to my laptop. The screen glowed. I opened my laptop, created a new folder, Harvest of Lies Documentary Project. Inside, subfolders, subject interviews, empty, B-roll footage, empty, financial documents, empty, timeline, empty, script outline, empty. My phone buzzed. Text from Gideon. Serious question. Are you really going to make a documentary about your son? I typed back, not about my son, about betrayal. 3 dots appeared, disappeared, appeared again. Make sure you can live with the consequences. I looked at the camera at my reflection in the black lens. 76 years old, gray hair, lines around my eyes from 40 years of squinting through viewfinders. Not broken. Not yet. I picked up the camera, attached the battery pack. Time to make a documentary, I said out loud. The camera's red recording light blinked on. The gathering. I started making calls. Portland food critics. A tech-savvy colleague's grandson who knew hidden cameras. My old post-production editor. Halfway through my third call, my email notification chimed. From Naomi Sullivan. Subject: I'm coming to Portland. Tato, she wrote. I booked a flight. Arriving Thursday. We're doing this right. You're not fighting them alone anymore. Also, I have some information about ends. You're going to want to hear. Call me tonight. I stared at the screen. Thursday. 3 days away. Information about ends. My daughter, my ally. I felt something I hadn't felt in 2 weeks. Hope. Not for reconciliation. Hope for justice. Naomi arrived Thursday afternoon. I picked her up at PDX and we drove straight to my house. She had taken 4 days off work, left her husband with the kids, booked a last-minute flight. Okay, she said in my kitchen, spreading her own file of documents on the table. Before you start your documentary, you need to see this. She pulled out a credit report. Ends Marie Winters. 23 pages. How did you get this? I asked. Naomi's mouth twitched. I have a friend in banking. Public record search plus skip tracing techniques. Everything here is legally obtained. My architect daughter knows skip tracing. My husband had debt issues before we married. I learned things. She tapped the report. Look at this. Nordstrom card, $23,000 balance. Saks, $18,000. She's maxing out every card. I scanned the pages. Golden Palace Casino. Multiple charges. Online gambling. I marked all gambling-related transactions, Naomi said, pointing. 47 in the last 6 months. 47. She has a problem, Tato. Naomi looked up at me. A serious problem. And she used your money to feed it. By Friday morning, I had a plan. Phase 1. Document everything. The restaurant had been open 2.5 weeks. Time to become their best customer. Friday night, 6:30 p.m. I walked into Harvest and Rye. The hostess seated me at a corner table. The waitress approached. Young.
Name tag, Kendra.
Can I start you with something to drink? Coffee, please. Black. I smiled. Friendly old man smile. Restaurant just opened, right? How's it going? Fine. Flat. Practiced. Menu's right there. Friend recommended this place. You like working here? Her eyes slid away. It's a job. Not enthusiastic. Staff morale problem. I made a mental note. My GoPro in the messenger bag by my feet captured everything. The menu was pretentious. Farm-to-table seasonal vegetables harvested with intention. I ordered the scallops. $28 for 3 scallops.
$9 per scallop.
The scallops arrived. They were perfect. Seared beautifully. Nate was talented. No question. Too bad his talent came with a side of betrayal. Saturday, Sunday, Monday. I came back each day, same section, same waitress, taking notes, using my phone constantly. Monday afternoon, I positioned myself near the bar. Enza's voice carried from the back. Phone pressed to her ear. No, Dennis, you can't do that. We had an agreement. Pause. I understand you have other clients, but we're talking about $23,000 in product. Longer pause. Fine. Fine, next week. We'll pay next week. But if you cut us off before then, I will personally make sure every restaurant in Portland knows. She stopped, listened. That's not a threat. It's a promise. Click. She hung up, stood there a moment, deep breath. Then she smoothed her shirt, smiled, walked back toward the dining room, passed within 3 feet of me, didn't even glance over. I had it all on audio, crystal clear. Tuesday evening. I sat at my usual table. Kendra brought water without being asked. What are you doing here? I looked up and stood at my table, arms crossed, face flushed. 2 other tables had gone quiet. Eating dinner, I said calmly. The scallops are supposed to be excellent. You've been here 4 nights in a row. The food's good. You sit alone. You take notes. Kendra says you're always on your phone recording things. I set down the menu, kept my voice level. I'm a customer. I'm allowed to be here. Not when you're harassing us. Harassment. I raised an eyebrow. I ordered food. Paid. That's called patronage. Her voice rose. This is stalking. You're obsessed. About what? I interrupted. Quieter. Harder. Tell these nice people what I'm angry about. She stopped, looked around. The room was listening. You need to leave, she said. Now. Or what? You'll call the police? Tell them I'm eating dinner. Tato. Nate's voice from behind her. He'd come out of the kitchen.
Chef is white, exhausted.
What are you doing? Eating your scallops. Please don't make this harder. I'm making this harder? I set my napkin on the table. I wrote you a check for $500,000. You excluded me from your opening, and now I'm not allowed to buy dinner. The dining room was silent. Every eye on us. Nate looked at Inz. At me. Back to Inz. Maybe you should go, he said quietly. I stood slowly, put $40 on the table. Okay, I said. I'll go. I walked past Nate, stopped at his shoulder, spoke quietly, just for him. You were 8 years old the first time you made me breakfast. Scrambled eggs, bacon. You burned the bacon but didn't want to admit it. You served it with orange juice in my favorite mug. You stood there watching me eat, waiting for my reaction. When I said it was perfect, you smiled so big. My voice caught. I remember that smile. Nate's jaw tightened. His eyes got wet. That boy loved me, I said. I wonder where he went. I walked out. Through the window, I saw Nate standing there frozen. Inz pulling at his arm. Public humiliation again. At this rate, Nate would ask me to leave his birthday party. Oh wait, I probably wouldn't be invited to that either. I sat in my car, hands on the steering wheel, not starting the engine. Stupid, sloppy, obvious. I'd been so focused on gathering evidence, I'd forgotten basic fieldwork. Surveillance 101. Be invisible. I pulled out my phone, texted Naomi. Made a mistake. Burned cover. Her reply came instantly. What happened? Tell you at home. But I got something good out of it. What? Nate's face when I left. He looked destroyed. 3 dots. Pause. Tato, do you want revenge or reconciliation? I looked at my reflection in the rearview mirror. I'll let you know when I figure it out. The revelation. Wednesday morning, 10 a.m. I opened my laptop. Inbox. 147 unread emails. One caught my eye. From truthhurts2020@proton.me. Subject: You want to know the truth? I clicked. Mr. Gardner, you want to know where your money really went? Check ends Winter's credit history. You'll need her SSN 555-23-4567. DOB March 15, 1991. Her laptop, MacBook Pro Rose Gold. Password: Harvest 2024. She keeps a spreadsheet called Personal Finances, Private, in Documents. Tracks everything. Every casino deposit, every lie. Golden Palace Casino account. User Inoops, $43,000 in debt to them alone. You deserve to know. Nate deserves to know. You didn't hear this from me. Someone who cares about the truth. I read it 3 times. Someone inside. Someone with access. But who? I screenshot the email. Sent it to Naomi. Got this. What do you think? She video called immediately. Who sent this?
No idea.
Could be a trap. The password is too specific. Harvest 2024. This is someone close. What are you going to do? I don't know. This crosses a line. What line? Between observation and invasion. She stole your money. And I can prove that without breaking into her computer. Can you? Naomi's voice was gentle. You tried confronting them. They kicked you out. You talked to a lawyer. He said no case. Someone's handing you evidence. Someone anonymous. Maybe their agenda is justice. We hung up. I stared at the email. Harvest 2024. My phone buzzed. Text. Unknown number. Did you get my email? I froze. Typed back. Who is this? 3 dots. Then, someone who's tired of watching her destroy everything. Check the laptop. Her reply came instantly. What happened? Tell you at home. But I got something good out of it. What? Nate's face when I left. He looked destroyed. 3 dots. Pause. Tato, do you want revenge or reconciliation? I looked at my reflection in the rearview mirror. I'll let you know when I figure it out. The revelation. Wednesday morning, 10 a.m. I opened my laptop. Inbox. 147 unread emails. One caught my eye. From truthhurts2020@proton.me. Subject: You want to know the truth? I clicked. Mr. Gardner, you want to know where your money really went? Check ends Winter's credit history. You'll need her SSN 555-23-4567. DOB March 15, 1991. Her laptop, MacBook Pro Rose Gold. Password: Harvest 2024. She keeps a spreadsheet called Personal Finances, Private, in Documents. Tracks everything. Every casino deposit, every lie. Golden Palace Casino account. User Inoops, $43,000 in debt to them alone. You deserve to know. Nate deserves to know. You didn't hear this from me. Someone who cares about the truth. I read it 3 times. Someone inside. Someone with access. But who? I screenshot the email. Sent it to Naomi. Got this. What do you think? She video called immediately. Who sent this?
No idea.
Could be a trap. The password is too specific. Harvest 2024. This is someone close. What are you going to do? I don't know. This crosses a line. What line? Between observation and invasion. She stole your money. And I can prove that without breaking into her computer. Can you? Naomi's voice was gentle. You tried confronting them. They kicked you out. You talked to a lawyer. He said no case. Someone's handing you evidence. Someone anonymous. Maybe their agenda is justice. We hung up. I stared at the email. Harvest 2024. My phone buzzed. Text. Unknown number. Did you get my email? I froze. Typomion who's tired of watching her destroy everything. Back. Who is this? 3 dots. Then S. Check the laptop. Why are you helping me? Dots. Longer pause. I'm not helping you.
I'm helping Nate.
He deserves better. But he won't listen to anyone who loves him. Maybe he'll listen to the truth. Do you work at the restaurant? Doesn't matter who I am. Matters what I know. How do I know this isn't a trap? You don't. That's what makes it interesting. 3 dots. Check the laptop by Friday. She's downloading everything to a USB drive this weekend. After that, the evidence disappears. How do you know that? Because I'm close enough to see everything. Tell me your name.
No.
Why should I trust you? You shouldn't. But you're desperate, and desperate people take chances. The messages stopped. I waited. Nothing. I looked at my laptop at the email at that password. Someone who's tired of watching her destroy everything. Someone close enough to see everything. This was either the best gift I'd ever received or the most elaborate trap. Only one way to find out. The evidence. Friday morning, May 2nd. I woke up knowing what I had to do. The anonymous emails sat in my inbox like a lit fuse. Harvest 2024. The laptop password. Evidence waiting. But first, I needed professional help. The kind that didn't leave fingerprints. I called Marcus Reeves at 7 a.m. He answered on the second ring. Former LAPD detective turned private investigator. We'd worked together 7 years ago on a documentary about insurance fraud. Silas. His voice was gravel and coffee. It's 7 in the morning. Someone better be dead or you better be paying.
I'm paying.
I need financial forensics. Deep background. Everything legal. Legal is expensive. Semi-legal's cheaper. Let's start with legal and see where we end up. We met at a coffee shop on Hawthorne. I slid the folder across the table. Bank statements, Instagram screenshots, the LLC filing. I need to know where $500,000 went. I said. My son's restaurant, his wife's spending. Something doesn't add up. Marcus flipped through my amateur documentation. This your son? Yeah. And you're investigating him? I'm investigating the truth. If he's clean, great. If not, I shrugged. I'll know what I'm dealing with. I pulled out my checkbook. 3 days. Everything you can get legally. Public records, credit reports, pattern analysis. 3 days is expensive. So was $500,000. He smiled. Fair point. I'll need $3,500. Half up front. I wrote the check. When do you start? Already did. Been running preliminary searches since you called. He leaned forward. Your daughter-in-law has interesting spending habits. How interesting? Nordstrom charges on a Tuesday morning. Interesting. Multiple casino transactions daily. Interesting. He closed the folder. Your money is not all in that restaurant. Prove it. Give me 72 hours. Monday evening. Marcus handed me the bound report. 47 pages. That bad? I asked. Worse. The truth. Your daughter-in-law has a shopping addiction and a gambling problem, Marcus said. His voice flat. Professional. Started about 18 months ago. Escalated after marriage. I opened to the executive summary. $127,000 in debt. My breath caught. Keep reading, Marcus said. Credit card statements, casino transaction logs, loan agreements. Each page another nail. Where'd my $500,000 go? Best estimate? $280,000 to the restaurant. Verifiable through permits and equipment purchases. $150,000 to paying down her debts. She probably told your son these were business expenses. $70,000 just gone. Shopping sprees, gambling losses. Nate doesn't know about her debts. No way. She's keeping 2 sets of books. Business books he sees. Personal books he doesn't. Marcus' report had a section titled Subjects Online Activity Analysis. Apparently, Enz had posted Instagram photos of expensive dinners the same days she made casino deposits. Caption, treating myself, self-care, living my best life. Yeah. With my $500,000. Very self-care. Much fraud. Tuesday morning, Portland Farmers Market on SE Yamhill. I showed up at 9 a.m. with a shopping bag. Browse produced stands. Waited. Nate arrived at 9:37, looking exhausted, stressed, alone. He looked up from a crate of organic arugula. Tato, what are you doing here? I held up my bag. Carrots, radishes, same as you. Shopping. I still eat, believe it or not. He managed a small smile. I used to come here every Saturday. Remember? You'd help me pick produce. You always bought me cookies anyway. What kind of father denies his kid cookies? I examined an heirloom tomato. How's the restaurant? His shoulders sagged. Honestly, harder than expected. Money's tight. Suppliers want payment up front now. All my money went into the business though, right? The full $500,000. Every penny.
No hesitación.
Complete conviction. Enz shows me the books monthly. Equipment costs ran over. Licensing fees were higher. But it's all legitimate business expenses. I watched his face, looked for tells. 40 years filming liars. You learn to read them. Nate was telling the truth. Or thought he was. Does Enz handle all the finances? She's better at it. I'm the cook. She's the business mind. He picked up the arugula. Why? Just curious, I said casually. Making sure my investment's being managed well. It is, Tato. I promise. That promise broke my heart. Because he believed it. Nate looked like he'd aged 5 years in 2 weeks. Restaurant stress. Marriage stress. Father didn't come to my opening stress. Poor kid had no idea his wife was the source of most of it. Ignorance isn't bliss. It's just ignorance with a higher credit card bill. The trap. Wednesday, I sat at my kitchen table, Marcus report open. Proof of everything. I composed the letter carefully, printed it at FedEx office in Beaverton, wore gloves. To whom it may concern. I write to express concern about the financial stability of Harvest and Rye Restaurant, 2847 Southeast Division Street. Co-owner Enz Gardner has significant undisclosed personal debts, $127,000, that may compromise the business's ability to maintain operations. Public records attached, as OLCC requires financial responsibility for liquor license holders. I believe this warrants investigation. A concerned citizen. I drove to a mailbox 20 minutes out of my way. Very spy movie, very ridiculous. 76 years old and I'm doing tradecraft. Should have been a spy. Or at least played one in a documentary. I called Naomi after. It's done. OLCC will get the letter Thursday. Inspector will probably show up Friday. How do you know the timeline? Marcus has a contact there. Anonymous financial concern about a liquor license holder. 3-day turnaround max. And when the inspector shows up, Naomi said, her voice tight, they'll ask questions about funding sources, financial stability, co-owner credit history. All standard stuff, which will expose Enz's debts. To Nate, to the inspector, to anyone who asks the right questions. I watched rain hit my window. Portland spring. Always raining. He'll find out finally. Are you ready for that conversation? Which one? The conversation where he learns his wife's a liar, or the one where he learns I'm the one who exposed her? Both. No, I admitted. But I'm doing it anyway. Friday morning, May 9th, 10:27 a.m. I parked across the street from Harvest and Rye. Camera with telephoto lens ready. White Ford sedan pulled up. Woman in her 40s. Business casual. Clipboard. OLCC badge on lanyard. She entered the restaurant. Through my lens I watched. 10:32 a.m. Enz emerged from office. Body language. Confident. Welcoming. Shook inspector's hand. They sat at a table near the window. 10:41 a.m. Inspector pulled out documents. Slid them across table. Enz's posture changed. Stiffened. Picked up papers. Her face went pale. Through the telephoto lens, I watched Enz's face when the inspector showed her the credit reports. Her expression went through 5 stages of grief in 10 seconds. Denial, anger, bargaining, depression, acceptance. Elizabeth Kubler-Ross would have been proud. Textbook. 10:46 a.m. Enz walked toward the kitchen. Inspector followed. Nate appeared in doorway, wiping hands on towel. Confusion on his face. 10:48 a.m. All three in kitchen, visible through service window. Nate reading documents. His expression. Confusion, shock, horror. Looked at Inns. She talked rapidly. He shook his head, backed away. 10:55 a.m. Inspector handed business card to Nate. Explain something. Inns looking desperate. Nate looking destroyed. 11 a.m. Inspector left. Through the window, I saw Inns and Nate alone in kitchen. Face to face. The argument began. I put down camera, turned on audio recorder. The long-range microphone picked up muffled shouting. It had started. I drove home, sat in my kitchen, waited. My phone buzzed. Text message. Unknown number. Stop. Just that. One word. I typed back. Who is this? 3 dots. Then, you don't know what you're doing. You don't know what this will cost. How did you get this number? That doesn't matter. What matters is you stop now before it's too late. Too late for what? For your son. A photo loaded slowly. Nate sitting at a table in the restaurant kitchen. Empty restaurant. Lights off except one fixture. His head in his hands, shoulders shaking. Crying. Timestamp. 7:43 p.m., 20 minutes ago. Another text. This is what you've done. He just found out about the debts, about the money. Is this what you wanted? I sat down hard. Who are you? Someone who cares about him. Someone who's watching him fall apart because of what you started. She lied to him. She stole from both of us. I know. The text came back. But he didn't. And now he's paying the price for her sins and your revenge. I looked at the photo again. My son destroyed. He needed to know the truth. Did he? The text asked. Or did you need him to know? I had no answer. Stop. The text came again. Stop before you lose him forever. I can't stop what's already started. Then you've made your choice. You'll regret it. The conversation ended. I sat in my kitchen holding my phone, looking at the photo of my crying son. The collapse. My phone rang. Different unknown number. I answered. Hello. Breathing. Ragged. Then, Tato. Nate's voice. Broken. Nate, are you okay? She lied to me. He was crying. About everything. The inspector showed me. She has debts. So many debts. And she used your money to. Asab. I cut him off. I didn't know. Tato, he sobbed. I swear I didn't know. I believe you. Do you? His voice cracked. Because right now I don't even believe myself. How could I not see it? I wanted to tell him, wanted to confess. I'm the one who sent the letter. I'm the reason the inspector came. But I didn't. Where are you? I asked. The restaurant. Enz went home. I can't face her right now. Come to my house. I can't. I need to think. Nate, listen to me. I have to go. He hung up. I stood there, phone in hand, photo of my crying son on the screen. I'd gotten what I wanted. The truth exposed. But looking at that photo, I felt no satisfaction, only dread. Nate didn't come to my house that night, didn't answer my calls. I sat up until 2 a.m., phone in hand, staring at that photo of him crying. Saturday morning, I drove past the restaurant. Closed. Sign in window. Private event today. Closed to public. No private event. Just a marriage imploding. That's when I remembered I'd installed that camera. 3 days ago. Testing surveillance equipment. I'd mounted a small wireless camera in the alley across from Harvest and Rise Kitchen for documentation. It transmitted to my laptop via encrypted Wi-Fi. I'd forgotten about it after the OLCC inspection. Now I opened the feed and watched my son's marriage fall apart in real time. Saturday, 5:15 p.m. Through the open kitchen window, audio came through crystal clear. Nate's voice loud, anguished. $127,000. $127,000 in debt. Ends. It's not that simple, she said, her voice pleading. The inspector showed me everything. Credit cards maxed out. Casino accounts. You told me those charges were business expenses. They were the business needed. Nordstrom isn't a business expense. Golden Palace Casino isn't a business expense. Silence. Then her voice quieter. You don't understand the pressure I'm under. Pressure? Nate shot back. I work 16-hour days and you've been stealing from my father to fund your shopping and gambling? Don't you dare judge me. Her voice rose. You think it's easy being married to you? I'm tired of competing with your father. This isn't about him. Everything is about him. He's controlled you your entire life. He chose not to come to our opening. That's a lie. It's not. I invited him. He said he was too busy. You're lying, Nate said. Show me the text. Pause. Too long. Show me ends. I deleted them. You deleted the thread, Nate said, his voice dangerous. Of course you did. I was protecting you. He smothers you. I freed you from him. Freed me? Nate laughed bitterly. You isolated me. You turned me against my own father. For what? So you could steal his money? I have a problem, she said, her voice breaking. Okay? But I was trying to protect you. By destroying everything I've built? By ruining my relationship with my father. Then maybe you should have been a better husband. Get out. What? Get out of my restaurant. It's our restaurant. Nothing is ours anymore. Get out before I say something I'll regret. Out. Sound of footsteps. Doorslamming. Engine starting. Then silence. Long, terrible silence. Long, terrible silence. Then sobbing. My son alone. Crying. Watching your son's marriage implode through a laptop screen while sitting in your kitchen eating leftover pasta is a special kind of hell. Very 21st century. Very dystopian. I should make a documentary about it. Oh wait, I already was. I closed the laptop, sat in darkness. My phone rang. 2:30 a.m. Nate.
Tato.
His voice was wrecked. What's wrong? Everything. A shaky breath. I need to tell you something about the opening. I already knew, but I let him talk. Enz told me you couldn't come. Said you had a conflict. I believed her. I thought, his voice broke. I thought you chose not to be there. I drove there, I said quietly. I brought champagne. Your wife told me it had already happened. I know, he whispered. She lied to both of us. About everything. The debts, I said. You know about those? The inspector mentioned financial concerns. She stole from you, Tato. $150,000. She told me it was business expenses, but it was her debts. Her shopping. Her gambling. I know. You know? His voice rose. How long have you known? Does it matter? Yes, he said, his voice cracking. Were you investigating us? Is that why you kept coming to the restaurant? Truth or lie? Partial truth. I wanted to understand where my money went. And you found out my wife's a liar and a thief. I found out your wife has problems, I said carefully. Serious problems. That's generous. He laughed bitterly. I don't think I can stay married to her. That's a decision only you can make. She manipulated me for years, he said, his voice hollow. Made me think you were controlling when really she was. Turned me against you. And I let her. You didn't let her, I said. She manipulated you. There's a difference. Is there? He asked. Because right now I feel like an idiot. You're not an idiot, I said. You're a good man who trusted the wrong person. I want to make this right, Tato, he said, his voice breaking. I want to pay you back. We'll talk about that later, I said. Right now, where are you? The restaurant. I'm sleeping here tonight. Come to my house. No, he said. Not yet. I need time. Silence. Phone connection humming.
Tato.
Yeah. I'm sorry for everything, he whispered. For not checking with you. For believing her. For treating you like you didn't matter. My eyes burned. You matter to me, I said. Always have. Always will. I don't deserve that. You're my son, I said. Deserving doesn't enter into it. He cried quietly. I let him. Get some sleep, I said finally. We'll talk soon.
Okay, Tato.
I love you. I hadn't heard those words from him in years. I love you too, kid. The documentary. Sunday I called Naomi. Video call showed her the footage. You recorded their fight? Horror in her eyes. Tato, that's private. I didn't mean to, I said. The camera was already there. I forgot about it. And you kept recording, she said, her voice tight. Yes. Tato, she said. That's their marriage falling apart. You can't use that. It's evidence, I said. It proves she manipulated both of us. It shows a woman having the worst day of her life. You want to put that in a documentary? I looked at the footage, paused on Nate's face, twisted in anguish. I don't know what I want anymore. You wanted justice, Naomi said gently. Are you getting that? Or are you just enjoying watching them suffer? I'm not enjoying this. Aren't you? She asked. There's a moment where the camera stays on him crying for 3 full minutes. You kept recording. Why? I don't know. I think you do. Monday, certified mail arrived. Court summons. Gardner versus Silas Gardner. Civil suit for harassment and defamation. Hearing scheduled June 3rd. The lawsuit claimed I'd systematically harassed and defamed Enns, causing severe emotional distress. Severe emotional distress from the woman who'd stolen $150,000 from me. The irony was so thick you could spread it on toast. Tuesday, I met Gideon at his office. She's smart, he said, tapping the summons. Legally speaking, this is a good move. How is suing me a good move? She's flipping the narrative, Gideon explained. You're no longer the wronged investor. You're the stalker ex-father-in-law. She's the victim. That's ridiculous. Is it? He asked. You went to the restaurant 4 days in a row, took notes, used recording equipment, sent anonymous complaints to government agencies. I was investigating fraud, which you can't prove without admitting to surveillance that may have violated privacy laws. He leaned back. This is why I told you not to do this alone. What do I do? 2 options, he said. 1, settle. Drop everything. 2, fight. But that means discovery. Her lawyers will dig into everything you've done. If any of it's legally questionable, you lose. Those are my options, I said flatly. Surrender or risk jail. Welcome to litigation. I told him about the footage, the fight, the hidden camera. His face went pale. You recorded them? Audio and video. Yes. Did they know it was there?
No.
Did they consent? It's an alley, public space. Was the microphone directional? He asked. Pointed at their private conversation? I hesitated. Yes. Silas, he said, sitting down his coffee slowly. Oregon is a 2-party consent state. You can't record private conversations without consent. That recording is illegal. It proves you committed a Class A misdemeanor, he said. If that recording becomes known, you don't just lose the civil case. You face criminal charges. The room felt cold. What do I do with it? Delete it now. I can't, I said. It's evidence. It's poison, he said. If you try to use it, you lose. If they find out about it, you lose. But it shows the truth. Maybe you should go, he said quietly. I stood slowly, put $40 on the table. Okay, I said. I'll go. I walked past Nate, stopped at his shoulder, spoke quietly, just for him. You were 8 years old the first time you made me breakfast. Scrambled eggs, bacon. You burned the bacon but didn't want to admit it. You served it with orange juice in my favorite mug. You stood there watching me eat, waiting for my reaction. When I said it was perfect, you smiled so big. My voice caught. I remember that smile. Nate's jaw tightened. His eyes got wet. That boy loved me, I said. I wonder where he went. I walked out. Through the window, I saw Nate standing there frozen. Ins pulling at his arm. Public humiliation again. At this rate, Nate would ask me to leave his birthday party. Oh wait, I probably wouldn't be invited to that either. I sat in my car, hands on the steering wheel, not starting the engine. Stupid, sloppy, obvious. I'd been so focused on gathering evidence, I'd forgotten basic fieldwork. Surveillance 101, be invisible. I pulled out my phone, texted Naomi. Made a mistake. Burned cover. If you hurt my son, I would never hurt him, the voice said. That's what makes me different from you, too. The line went dead. I sat there, phone in hand, staring at nothing. Who was this person? And why did their words hurt so much? Because deep down, a small part of me wondered, were they right? The documentary, the anonymous caller's words echoed for days. You're as controlling as she is. I tried to dismiss it, tried to focus on the lawsuit, the evidence, the plan, but the words stuck. Wednesday morning, May 14th. I sat in my home office surrounded by equipment. Cameras, hard drives. 40 years of documentary footage archived on shelves. Always from a distance. Always as an observer. This time it was personal. This time I was part of the story. I opened Final Cut Pro. Created new project, Harvest of Lies. A family betrayal. Target length, 30 minutes. Time to make the documentary that would end this. 5 days, 12-hour sessions. Editing, re-editing, perfecting. Hour 42 of editing. I'd watched the hidden camera fight footage maybe 50 times. Each viewing, new details, new moments of devastation. I was becoming an expert in my own son's marital collapse. There was probably a support group for that. Not exactly a hobby to put on a dating profile. Monday morning, May 19th. I called Nate. I need you to come to my house today. This afternoon. I don't think that's a good idea. It's not optional. 2 p.m. Be here. What is this about? You'll see when you arrive. If you want any chance of us moving forward, you'll be here. Silence. Then, okay. 2 p.m. Nate stood in my living room, looking at the television screen. Black. Waiting. What is this? He asked. Sit down. I said, my voice tight. Sit. He sat. I took the chair across from him. Coffee table between us like a canyon. I made something, I said. Something I need you to see before anyone else does. You can't pause it. You can't leave. You watch the whole thing. Then we talk. You're scaring me. Good. I pressed play. Harvest of Lies. A Family Betrayal. A documentary by Silas Gardner. Nate's breath caught. Oh God. Watch. For 30 minutes. Neither of us moved. The LLC revelation. August 15th registration. August 23rd money request. On screen, my narration. 8 days. This wasn't spontaneous. This was planned. Nate stared at the dates. I can explain. Can you? I asked, my voice dangerously quiet. Because I'd love to hear how you register a company. Exclude your father. Then come asking for $500,000 with promises of partnership. He couldn't look at me. It wasn't like that. What was it like? We were going to include you after, he said. We just wanted to get the structure set up first. Liar. I said, the word sharp. Final. You registered the LLC with just you and N's. You could have put my name on it. You didn't. Because you never intended to make me a partner. That's not true. Then why?